So, Josh, bless him, me and other Josh, who's here with me now, we got stuck in a meeting, which was a little boring. I prefer turning spanners, but every now and again we have to. Some big changes, lots happening here at the museum. It's going to be an exciting year. Definitely quite a good, exciting year. So, Josh got the gearbox out by himself. Most of you that know Land Rovers will know that this is not an R380, which is the gearbox fitted to most Defenders 300 TDI, or an LT77 fitted to pre-300 TDI. This is a ZF Auto box. It's a 4HP 22 fitted to most stuff automatic of that era, really. Subs, Volvos, a lot of BMW 3 Series had these. They were here, there and everywhere, really. Just a good box. 4-speed, but they are a good, strong box. Why have we taken him out? The Land Rovers had various stages of restoration done over the years. I mean, it's been a project now for about 15 years. I was at high school. Almost primary school, actually, when we started that. So, and one of the things that got happened to it had a leak in main seal. So gearbox came out so we could do the main seal, and the flex plate on the engine got put on backwards. People doing it at the time didn't notice until gearbox had been put all into the engine, and the flex plate bolts would not do up. One of the symptoms of that, if that does happen, is you crack the oil pump on the gearbox. And as we said before, we want to take this Land Rover quite far, towing lots of trailers. Doing all the shows, yeah, we want to take it to some shows. We can tow stuff behind the trailer on that. And we've got a lot of Cheiftain stuff to collect. And I don't know what we're showing on the side of the M4, thinking, oil pump was cracked, now it's let go. So we thought, you know what, let's get it out and check it. And bring you guys along. The transfer box is all good. We're going to do a couple of things to him. We're going to convert him to the Ashcroft transmission sump, which I'll show you why they're better. And she's been apart at some point, because someone's put, there's 6 bolts to hold into the gearbox, and there's one that you have to put a short bolt in. Someone's put a long bolt in and mullered it, because it hits the gear. But we'll get to that in a minute. Well, not in a minute, but this afternoon though, this evening. So, gearbox, oil pump. Oil pump sits here. So the first job is to get the torque converter out, and then the bell housing. Reflex like cat, me.
Do you know what? I'm going to come over here. Didn't expect that.
No. So, because she's auto, we've got a torque converter, which is a bit like the fluid flywheels you get in like the Saladins and Saracen and Ferret, which are fluid flywheels, and it is a type of fluid flywheel. No, I'm not done. Yeah. So they're undone. That took a whole Josh to hold the gearbox.
It's not heavy enough.
No, it's not. Right, Josh, we're getting one of the Hubbard when he was here last, well not the last time before that, but all of the wood to support a fuel tank. So let's get one of the bits of wood. You take them all out.
All got one.
Oh,
I got bored of tripping over him.
it is a bit cold in our workshop tonight, so I'm going to put my hood up, which apparently annoys one of our viewers. So I might put the hood back down, but
This is where the bell housing. As you pick it up.
yep.
And the front plate.
We're currently in the new workshop, but nothing's where we wanted it, so we're kind of working it as we go along. Right around us. But that is the bell housing off.
including the gearbox.
So now we can take our front carrier off.
There's our first gear pack.
I wasn't expecting him to come with that, to be honest with you. Better. I'll say I was expecting him to stay behind. Right, that's back together with all the fingerprints on it, although it doesn't matter because we are going to pull them apart and have a look at them. You can just go there for now. So what we want, Josh, is inside here. And he is our oil pump. So, we'll make a bit of space and then we'll pull this apart and have a look at the oil pump. So we've moved the gearbox to a more appropriate location, something which we were going to do, but then thought we'd try and keep it on the bench at a sensible height so you could see what was happening. So we've put this back together, you're going to join us on the bench. So if you're scared of heights, although you won't know you're that high, the oil pump, what is the point of the oil pump? The oil pump supplies oil pressure and oil to the whole manual gearbox, the whole auto gearbox, which is done on valves and little shuttles. Without oil, they don't go anywhere. As well as the lockup in the fluid flywheel. I mean, the fluid flywheel itself needs oil to do its thing. So it would be game over if you broke and did have a broken oil pump. So the oil pump is driven on the fluid flywheel itself. It drives off these two lugs here, which is in there. So now we need a soft hammer, Josh. Yeah. So it would appear that they have got unlucky. Although I touch this with my hands at the minute, I'm not clean enough, but first impressions is that of good. I think we'll take him out in a minute and give him a proper examination. However, another thing we can check while we're here is the condition of that bearing there, which has had some use but not excessive. So, actually,
Not broken.
give it a clean up and check, but he doesn't appear to be broken at all.
Not a job to do for a bit of peace of mind, is it?
Trouble is, if we didn't do it, every time think, oh, that made a weird noise. Is that oil pump? We'd be forever wondering, oh, is it? You'd never know. You have to check, don't you? You have to check.
If we hadn't checked, it would be broken.
Yeah.
Sod's law. It would be
Yeah.
broken if we hadn't checked.
And it's better to do it now since before she's all painted up and everything. Right, so we've taken some more bits off, because while you're at this stage, you might as well strip down the easy front half of the gearbox to get a sense of how much wear she'd had, how much work has it done. you wouldn't take your gearbox apart just to do that. She has done 250,000 miles, or the truck has, but we now know that that isn't definitely her original gearbox, because this has not done 250,000 miles. So you've seen actually this style of arrangement before. The guys that watched all of our videos so far, rebuilding Deborah's final drive also used a clutch pack, except for her clutch pack locked the actual cast housing to the drive shaft coming out, and in turn, because it couldn't turn the housing, acted as a brake. Whereas this is locking the gear hub to the drive shaft. So effectively, you're locking the two shafts and the gearbox together, and depending which hub you lock depends on your gear ratio. As we said before, she's a 4-speed. So this is your first disc, and she's external lugs. You can see there's not. You can see it's shined it, so that's the back side. But there's no lip there. There's no major scoring. I mean, a GoPro camera's going to make it look like it's been sanded and driven through a desert, but there is nothing there at all. So we pop him back into the gearbox, and because of these external lugs, you see they lock in and go on the outside. And then we want to give him a little bit of an oil. Not too much, but just enough. That leads us to our first friction disc, which is actually still got a writing on. Still got the part number on it. So again, this hasn't done much work at all. So we've just stripped these out obviously to have a look at them. If this was brand new, you'd pop this in oil overnight. But it's been in oil for a few years, so we don't need to do that. So he goes in, and there's nothing for him to lock into. He comes next. But what we do is, all I do is, as I'm looking down the gearbox, I'll line a set of teeth up directly at me, because they need to be lined up to get the next bit in. Same again, I'm just going to clean them down. I've got my mitts over it. I've run out of blue roll, so we have not been in the cafeteria next to the kitchen roll. Didn't see it. The GoPro makes our blue roll look really white.
Yeah, especially compared to blue gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, these are actually green. And the same again, there's been no debris through there. And we don't want debris through there, hence why we're cleaning it all down.
Just got to repeat the process.
Now we'll repeat the process, and we'll join you back as we put the first gear carrier in. So last one, which is a lot thicker, he takes a lot of load. They're all being pushed up against him. Same thing again. I mean, he's not even actually took the dull finish off the whole way across in places. And then he's got the extra teeth. He goes in there, and then normally I've got a knack for these snap rings and gearboxes, but since you guys are watching, you know I won't be able to do it. Did though.
That's dry.
Yeah. You could do with going. No, that takes all right. Yeah. I moved that over a bit, but that's fine. That's now back. One line there. All my teeth are lined up. And why is it important to have all them inner teeth lined up? Because they engage on here.
Keep them clean and drop them in.
Yeah. I don't think we need to check the inner ones. So we'll give them a little bit of a clean up. straight back in there. He goes there. The ring feels soft. So now we can properly enter this for the first time, last time even. So we're just looking for where she runs on the housing, how smooth that housing is, and although it's got some marks on there and you can tell she has been working, there's nothing you can feel. I've got gloves on, but I have felt with my nail. There's nothing there. It's going to look worse than a GoPro because that's just what GoPros do, but that's quite good. Same with the housing around here. Make sure I have no big scores, scratches, signs that debris and stuff's been for the oil pump. But actually, she looks pretty good, Josh. And in our case, there's no cracks anywhere. But it has all cleaned up pretty alright. So let's get this back together. Cut while we clean. Right, so welcome to building gearbox with Aaron and Josh. Really speedy because we've got a 5% battery on the camera. Yeah. So oil pump out of housing. He goes in. I pre-lubricated him with oil to make him a bit sticky because we had to flip him up the other way to fit him to there. Goes there. Right, so and then we got ourselves a O-ring, and he's nice and supple still. But I am just coating him with the oil on my hands. And we've got a dowel, which is here.
He's in there. Does it stay together?
It is. The dowel is that one there.
Yep.
That's not the one I expected to fall out. That is not the one I expected to fall out. So what we learned, Josh, is what be quicker.
Yeah.
You have to take this one out to fit him.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. We're reeling him in.
Is this one?
Right, so Josh, you hold that housing up.
Yep.
Actually, we haven't got to be quick at all.
No. This. Wrong one. Dowel should be that one.
Was it?
Around to there. Yep. Got to flip it the wrong way around to put the bolts in. Take that off.
Well, at the end of that's gone tight, so. What we'll do, Josh, is tighten them up. So we've got the torque wrench out, and they are 10 newton meters. Don't just do it like a mini beep then.
Still recording.
We'll put the rest of the bolts in. We'll now lower the front cover on. Then bolt up the bell housing. And then we'll join you back to the workbench with the transfer box. So you join us back on the workbench with the transfer box. How long are you going to be noisy for? Just be quiet for a second so we do our intro, and then when we use the nut gun anyway, so... Cut. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So, join us back on the workbench with this transfer box. She's out for a couple of reasons. One, I had to come out to get the gearbox out and check that oil pump. And another sign of her having a gearbox at some point is the bolt that I've lost. There's a few bolts that hold these on. 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is really important. He has to be a short bolt, not this long bolt. And as you can see, hopefully the camera picks that up, how the gears to the end of the bolt arc. Which unfortunately, when that does that and mudders the end of the bolt, as you then unwind it out of the hole, you get all this swarf. And it ruins the hole. Most people, if they put the wrong bolt in, recognise it, the fact that the gearbox doesn't turn. But these boys must have been slightly agricultural. Not working, just hit the throttle until it sounds expensive. And in this case, it just did the bolt. So it then worked. But didn't really want to have to do this. And the other thing which we would have done in situ, really, is the sumps on these gearboxes normally flat, but Ashcroft do an increased capacity one, which if you've done a lot of towing, a lot of heavy work with them, they do make a big difference. I have burnt out a couple of LT230s getting too hot. I probably had too much on the trailer at the time, but... So first thing first, we'll take the four-wheel drive selector housing off. So transfer box takes power from gearbox in here, and then sends it to the rear wheels. You'll notice that I can hold the front wheels steady and still, unless we engage four-wheel drive, and now I can't hold that steady. So it's just transferring that power from back to the gearbox back to the front, or back to the back and then to the front. So first thing off, we'll take the selector housing off. So we've got to get a bit more clearance around this hole in here so we can really see what we're doing, and also we've got to drill and hally pull that out. We don't want to have to put swarf in the gearbox. Have a look at the tray.
Green, wasn't it?
Oh, it's here.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a tap. So this is high and low range. There's a set of gears and a sliding dog in here that sets that, and all that's happening is you're pulling that lever. And there is there's a cut out of the shaft here, and that's just moving that shaft forwards and backwards.
Can't see it, but yeah.
So there's a spring detent in my side over here. He won't come out. The little ball detent will not come out. So we'll keep them upright, and then as we take the sump off anyway, we'll put them out that way. So if we pull the sump off, take this cover off, and then we'll do the T cover as well. A bit of a clean around it.
Oh, you put my nice expensive case, Mark.
I give it to you. Right, now we'll do the T cover. You can in fact take it off without taking this cover off, it just makes it slightly easier. But if you're in situ and you've still got a gearbox here, obviously you can't take that cover off. Next job now is all the housing bolts that hold this front wheel drive housing on. Right, Josh wants to start holding up. Our shaft here is currently staying behind. Different shafts there. Yep, keep going. Hang on. I can stay, you can't. Your side up. Yep. So, back to the bolt I was talking about. Here he goes in here. And there's 3 sets of gears. So you've got 1 gear set here, got an idler shaft in the middle, then a big gear here. I think the idler's actually more up here, but...
And bigger.
Yeah. But the idler gear is what hits that bolt. So we've got to drill how you call this out now. There's a couple of different ways we can do that of mitigating how much swarf goes in. But then we will wash this whole housing out. So we've got a helical set. And we've identified that it is a... I'll show you how the helicals work. I'm not a massive fan of them, but they do the job when you really need them. So first we drill the hole slightly oversized. So I think we'll probably have handy cam for this as well.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm drilling a blind hole, we're going to wash this housing out, but I want to mitigate how much swarf goes in there. We'll keep the drill bit fairly greased and do little bits at a time and keep cleaning the drill bit.
Extra light in the handy cam.
So I'll grease the drill bit. Certainly caught a lot of swarf in that, so right, Josh, can we see how much swarf we dropped in there, if anything?
Maybe a touch.
You're not supposed to say that.
I know.
It's lovely.
Lovely, yeah.
Yeah, though, we're going to clean it out anyway.
Yeah.
The bin is on your
this
side.
Yeah.
So now we take a tap, which is slightly oversized.
I realised I just turned that torch right in your face.
Yeah, I was a little...
Oh. We need a little torch stand now as well.
We need to take the box of GoPro accessories to the office and sort stuff out. 'Cause we've got a lot of stuff that we don't use. It would make our life easier. It would help up production a little bit.
Yeah.
But like the GoPro light works really well.
Yeah. Just need to remember where it is.
I know where it all is.
Oh.
It's in the box just over there. Right, so again, I've greased the tap because I want to mitigate as much swarf as I can. Right, Josh, we need to remember to do this every day. For those that are members to our channel, you get photo updates every day of what we're up to and what's happening currently. So we'll have a bit of that. Can you take your torch off? There you go. There we go.
Too bright, was it?
Yep. So that's one of their photos. It won't, the members and my members' photos posts, and we're going to do a Patreon page as well and stuff, won't affect any of our videos and what you guys just normally subscribe to the channel. It's just some little extras. But it won't hinder or affect anything that you guys currently already get with videos.
I thought we'd hit the gear first.
Poor gear's been hit by a drill. It's been hit by the bolt. I'm not going to hit it with the tap. I'm not going to hit it with the tap as well. And again, I don't think we dropped much swarf because we've caught that grease has really caught most of it. So, what is the coil in the Halley coil, Josh? I tell these are metric because I don't use them very often because everything's still new.
We haven't lost the little packets yet.
Yeah. So we take this, which is effectively called spring.
We're not tightening.
No, I'm not.
No.
I've had more trouble Loctiting them than I have not Loctiting them.
Fair enough.
You can get ones with Loctite pre-installed, and they're right because there's a powder form that just happens on the outsides. But if you get, sometimes I will, depending on the. But then this spring will now wind in down them threads.
Oh, he's gone.
So that notch is now fixed. Problematic bit is we need to rescue this out. The Halley cores have that little tang in there to drive them. He has to come out. And he'll make a mess of our gears. So I'm hoping to be slightly clever about it. I've got the die for knocking it off. Can we magnetise this? You guys are going to help with this. Swap them to the other camera. But they'll see in that camera.
It's got a magnet.
Now you've got a magnet.
I bet they're stainless. Do they stick to the magnet? The actual coils?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But not very well. No, that's the bad idea.
Yeah. If you knock them out, hopefully he don't bounce, so we can then just. Will he go on top of the gear?
I don't know. I can't do. The plan is we've got a bit more swarf in here than we expected. However, Take the screwdriver out.
How heavy is this cluster?
Just hand in 180 out, 180. Straight back in there.
Yep.
So we've ended up taking more out of this transfer box than we expected. A bit more swarf got in here than we wanted, and swarf and gearboxes don't go well together. So we've took the idler gear out of the middle here, just so we can give it a good clean up and make sure there is no swarf and no debris from drilling that hole. Also, the housing itself had a lot of swarf in it from just that bolt coming out, so it was the better decision. So Josh, in here we got, haven't we? We've got 2 taper bearings, one each end, the other one's there, and then a crush tube that goes between them. So that's the top one. So we've got to get him back in the transfer box. We do so without it all falling to pieces. So bearing goes in the bottom here. They've all been cleaned up. Now we've got a crush tube to go in. We have to put them over the edge in a minute. So these are the baffs to fit. You get it first time, it's lovely, or you spend ages trying to line everything up once it's in. For that tiny hole to hole. Give it a bit of a lube after being washed out, give it a head start in life. You can hold that bearing up. Oh, I've done that before. There we go. Alright. So the shaft in here, Josh, we had to line them up with a crush tube. It's pretty much there then. the O-ring's good, but half of Land Rover's oil leak is from this O-ring. Pretty much one of the only leaks you can't fix on the vehicle. So we're going to really make sure he seals. Especially with the sump, we've got an extra litre and a bit of oil in it. Although it's not coming higher up in the gearbox, it's still a lot more sloshing around in there. Next we've got the output shaft, which is here. He's currently upside down. And the selector shaft. We'll make sure he's all nice and clean. Put your selector fork on first. Select high gear. So Josh will be on putting in. You holding it up? Kind of, yeah. What you want to get to? You let go, don't you? Yep. Yep. Now we just need to let it. That's true, yeah. Never go yet. Yeah, we're half in between them. Okay. Good through. Yeah.
You might go down a bit more. Oh, that might be when we bolt it up though.
Why?
He's not quite perfectly meshing. He's high, slightly high.
Select the shaft.
Yeah.
He's binding me up. There you go. Yep. So now we're ready to start putting the front housing back on. Right. Camera's rolling.
Yeah, he's running.
Right, firstly, we need to line ourselves upright to come through here. Yep. Next is we can rotate diff. Twin pass, didn't we? So now we need to go for that tape cover because it's going to be diff lock hindering us. We've got to come up your side.
Yes. Okay.
We could do manually just tapping it down, making sure we're not. Down. Go on the ratchet on them and just double check.
Yep.
Them all. Double check all them.
Yep.
You join us back now. We are putting the sump on. Well, gasket sealer for the sump.
second one.
Right on top of the gearbox next to it. I'm going around now.
Oh yeah.
I've got a running all up there ready.